Okay, a lot of people have asked me how to make my ketogenic creamer. And for those of you who don't know what the ketogenic diet is, it is a way of eating. It's not a diet where you just do it for a little while, lose weight, or fix your inflammation or whatever your problem is, and then go back to the standard American diet and go eat your fast food and everything's fine. It's a way of eating that is low carbohydrate. If you're in ketosis, the body does not burn glucose for fuel, which glucose is our primary energy source or our preferred. We don't need it to live, but it is what the body defaults to unless you have carb restriction. So that's a whole other video for a whole other time and a great idea, Amy. Okay. So at any rate, my keto creamer is, I use it for a whole more than just coffee. But on the ketogenic diet, where you're in ketosis, you're burning ketones for fuel, you're in a fat burning mode, it's a high fat diet. And you are a way of eating high fat. And there's a couple things that don't taste great on their own, but with this creamer that I make, like I don't like black coffee, but if I put all these things in it, it's almost like a meal. Very satiating, which is one of the reasons why this way of eating is so good at helping people burn fat, is because you're in fat burning mode and fat is very satiating. So that said, I use it for my unsweetened plain Greek yogurt. I mix it in with that, with a couple low carb items like raspberries are low fructose. Any of the berries are, even cantaloupe, I think. Well, yeah, I know. Not watermelon, surprisingly, even though it's low carb, it's high glycemic index, and that's also for another time. So here's how I make my keto creamer. It helps to have a container to pour it all into at the end, and I don't know what I did with it. I knew I was missing something. So a Ninja blender. I love my Ninja. They don't pay me to say I love my Ninja, but it's got all of these measurements on here, so I know how much I'm doing. So in here already is this sugar-free caramel, and I've already poured some in. I just poured it in. You want heavy cream, and I don't really care for the store-bought kind because it has carrageenan. There is a Virginia, I get raw cream because I own shares, and that's how we get around it. And it's healthy and it's fine because they test the herd and they test the milk for the things that they're concerned about, like TB. Carrageenan's a thickener, and it also rips you off of your fat. If they put carrageenan in it, they don't have to use as much fat, and they can stretch it out. It's like a drug dealer adding things to its products so that they can make more money, and ultimately you suffer. So carrageenan, but I have this just to show you the size of about what I use. So this Homestead Creamery, if you live here in Virginia, I get one of those. They don't use any carrageenan. So this is from Sweet Land Farms. Are they out of Floyd? I think so. They just recently fixed their splitter. Thank you, Jesus. So one of these. Here's another one. I think, wow. One was way thicker than the other. It's actually the first time in a while, like I said, their splitter was broken. I need to move this away. The first time in a while that I've used their cream. I'd been using the Homestead Creamery. So my measurements might be a little off here. Oh my gosh. 2 cups of almond milk. See, when I blend this, it's gonna go and it's gonna turn into whipped cream, or because of all the fat that I'm adding, it's gonna turn into a brick. So I pour in 1 to 2 cups of almond milk, which is gonna cut it. Almond milk is low carb. There's like 1 carbohydrate in there. And then MCT oil, which is a medium chain triglyceride. when you're on this low carb way of eating, your body needs fast energy because it's not breaking down glucose. I've got about a half a cup of this MCT oil, so medium chain triglyceride, unlike the long chain fatty acids, is a lot faster, easier for the body to break down, and so it accesses energy quicker. So it helps with fatigue, brain power. I'm gonna take, I don't know, I just eyeball it. 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4 tablespoons of coconut oil, half a stick of butter if you're really into that Kerrygold or the grass-fed. I mean, I know that they say Kerrygold is grass-fed, but they have winter up there where Kerrygold is made, so it's not always grass-fed. But it always costs the same expensive price tag, doesn't it? So there's a little shenanigans there. I've got this caramel extract that I got off of eBay. I don't think I'd buy food products off of eBay. Off of Amazon. You don't have to do caramel extract, but I find that I like it in combination with vanilla extract. And then I'm gonna do a tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa, which is low carb because there's no sugar in unsweetened cocoa. And then I'm gonna microwave this thing about 30 seconds, stir, 30 seconds, stir, and maybe another, depending on what it looks like. All right, now let's talk sweeteners. So obviously sugar is a high carbohydrate. Sugar is going to kick you out of ketosis. So what do you do for sugar? Well, the closest thing to it, and it's pretty darn good, is something called erythritol. And erythritol is a sugar alcohol. It's called an alcohol because the hydroxyl group, an oxygen and a hydrogen, that's a hydroxyl group. That's actually what makes up all the alcohols. Isopropyl, there's 2 of them in there and an iso shaped because they repel each other. Ethanol, CH2, oh gosh, I used to know that one. CH3, anyways, there's a hydroxyl group somewhere on that carbon chain. CH3, CH2OH, maybe that's what it is. Then these sugar alcohols are fermented and there's a hydroxyl group in there somewhere, so it doesn't get you drunk. So erythritol, mannitol, maltitol, sorbitol, those are sugar alcohols. And the reason they don't spike blood sugar is because they're marginally absorbed in the GI. So they taste sweet, they kind of run through. Some people are kind of sensitive to some of these in great quantities. A few people, maybe a little bit, causes gas. I have no problem with it. If anything, the meat MCT oil used to really plague me. I do about, I don't know what this is. This is like half a cup. Maybe about a cup of erythritol. I buy organic stevia. Very different than the stevia in the raw. Be very careful when you're buying stevia in the raw. Hey, raw. They've got maltodextrin and dextrose as the top. Okay, so you're looking at the what's in this stuff, and it's in order of what's the most. And the first thing is maltodextrin and stevia in the raw. Shouldn't it be stevia as your leading ingredient? So yes, this one, stevia. So I get this one, it's very, very sweet. Stevia is a plant that I believe the deal with it is that it tricks your palate into thinking that you taste sweet. Some people don't like it because it's very different. It took a little getting used to, but I do about 2 of these guys in here. That might be a lot. That's all right. It's never actually sweet enough for me. And when you pour it in, you can taste it. Let's see what's going on in here. Yeah, stir this up. So again, I've got half a stick of butter, a couple tablespoons of coconut oil, unsweetened cocoa, what else? Baking vanilla and caramel extract. I put in my erythritol and my stevia. Just waiting on that. If you feel that you want some more volume in here, you can add more almond milk, or half and half works, or more cream. I don't think these are as big as I'm used to. Let's see what's on there. Oh, this stuff smells really, while when you heat it up. All right. I try to be quick because I don't want it to scorch or curdle or cook all my dairy. Not a dairy diet, that's or dairy allergy diet. And then this thing's gonna make a bunch of noise. Don't do it too long. Like I said, you'll have a brick no matter how much you put in here. I feel like I'm forgetting something. But I don't think so. I like mine to be a little on the thick side because if I don't suspend it enough, it doesn't maintain like a homogeneous blend and it separates in here. But then again, if you do it.
Yeah, I probably next time won't do as much stevia, but it just means that
Next time, probably not as much stevia, maybe just 1 scoop, but it just means that I won't have to add additional sweetener when I'm making coffee. So if it's just me drinking it, no one cares. But if I've got other people that are enjoying it too, I try to make it a little less sweet so I can always add in later. Yep. Okay, so that's about it. This is what's cool about the Ninja is it's got this guy here, and you can just pour it in. And I'd say the viscosity of this is perfect. Probably hard to see. Yeah. Making enough, and yep, oh, that was the perfect amount. All right. Let's taste. So ketogenic creamer. Pour it in your coffee. It's really tasty by itself. You can mix it in yogurt. Cool thing about yogurt, especially the non-sweetened kind, is that by the time it gets to you, any sugar in the milk cultures or in the milk has been eaten up by the sugar, so it's probably less carbohydrates than it even says. All right, low carb creamer. I'll have to put the recipe down in the comments or somewhere. Still getting used to this YouTube thing. And if you make it, let me know what you think.